Okay, folks, we're going to do another airbrushing session here out in the garage studio. When you say studio, it makes everything sound more professional. Got our alligator clips here. All kinds of different stuff here. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully this thing is... Oh, did we just F up again playing with this? Yep. All right, here we go. Got too excited. Now this thing should be pretty clean from the last time I used it. That's usually not where the issue is. There we go. It's really the only part that's a pain on this airbrush. There's not much of a pain on the airbrush. I got it on purpose that way. You don't want an airbrush that's a pain to take apart. You'll never take it apart. What's up, Marcus? Okay, we're back to going vertical. All right, so I'm never going to remember to mark these things on the airbrush, but one of these. It's this one. We'll feed this in from the front. Did you have a good day firing people? 38 T's? All right, because you said so. I got a lot of things. I got a lot of things to paint, but I don't think I'm going to paint. I don't think I'm going to paint. I've got about an hour to do this. So I don't want to do just priming because I'm not going to get through all the priming that I brought here. And oh, wow, this stayed in here? Well, that's going to be an issue. You hired 3 people recently. Oi! Right! Well, welcome, Pablo. Man, this should not be... Looks clear. Well, we'll see if that ends up presenting a problem. You didn't hire any of those people that were like, what's your resume look like? I worked 6 months here and 6 months there and 6 months there. Just farted. Well, good. You can enjoy it all by yourself. Hopefully it's that new smell you brewed. Okay. So we've got all the pieces back together. Let's get this out of the way. You really shouldn't be there. You are a troublemaker. We're going to install this and fire this thing up. We're going to be priming first. So we're going to get this thing up to about something ridiculous like 40 PSI or something like that. The nice thing about the virtual world. Anyways, I was saying you didn't hire one of those people that's like, hey, I've been here 6 months and 3 months and 1 here with months. There's guys that like, I'm the vice president of vice presidents, vice presidencies. You know, there's people that are... I have somebody at work that calls them feather seekers. They're always trying to put a feather in their hat. Some of us just want to be left alone. I want to coast the next 14 years. Just leave me alone, man. Just leave me alone. I'm ready to not be in this industry anymore. Low should be fine. It's everybody's favorite time. It's Body Cavity Search Club time. I'm sure somebody gets excited about this just like they got excited about bitch's feet. Don't really need to use this, but it helps with the cleanup. All right, we're about 28. Let's fire this up to about 40. It's probably going to come up again. Now, hopefully, we don't have the issue that we had the other day where it was, I was getting spray even though it was just, I wasn't even pulling back on it. So let's see what we got here. Okay. No spray. All right. So what are we going to airbrush? Well, this is the stuff that we have. We've got some Crusaders, because now I don't have any Crusaders to work on. They haven't been primed. I got 4 Crusaders in here. I got 6 Czech 36, 6 Czech 38s. I have KFZ 13s, 2 of those, and I've got some 251 half tracks. So it's going to be one of those. I think I'm going to do a little bit of everything, just so we can have some variety going forward. Because like I said, I don't have time to do everything today. So I'm going to take one of these Czech 38 turrets, one of the original ones that's open. One of the nice thing about the virtual world, will you ever feel like you're babysitting everybody? This is the modern equivalent of crank calling. And we're going to use a clippy on this one. I hope this isn't too brittle. Oh, I'm going to buy some of these on Amazon because these are, I could use some more. Every time I go to Hobby Lobby, I forget. I actually walked out of Hobby Lobby the other day. I walked out empty-handed. I left my stuff in the basket. They're taking forever to check people out. And I'm like, everybody complains about self-checkout, and I'm a fan of self-checkout because some people just like, just get me out of here. You know, I don't mind checking myself out. I'm not royalty. I don't need to be waited on. Where did I buy the brushes? Hobby Lobby. Oh, the last batch that I bought, Michael's, but they're not the good ones. The good ones, those the golden Taklon ones from the Royal Langnickel or whatever the hell they're called. Those are from Hobby Lobby. They're the best cheap brushes I've found. But you know, like the dry brush ones, I got those from like Michael's. They had like a pack was like $6, and the other one, you buy one, the other one was 50% off. I'm like, all right, let's do it. All right, so let's put a little bit of this Vallejo primer, and I think when I'm out of this stuff, which could take a little bit of time, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try a different and see if it behaves a little better. I think somebody was recommending the one that Badger makes. We'll try it, and if it sucks, I can blame them. Like, I was perfectly happy with mine, and you made me switch brands, and you know, let's see how we're doing here. Whoa, Nelly! I'm actually going to drop the pressure on this. All right, let's try that. All right, let's do the Czech 38. Something weird's happening. The thing to say about airbrushing is, don't make any plans. I got an hour to do this. I don't know what I'm going to get done. I'm gonna nah. I'm gonna reuse this. I'm gonna use this one. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the turret for her. I like black because you can see immediately whether or not you missed a spot. We're gonna do two check 38s. One with the Plastic Soldier Company turret, and one with the original turret. And the other turret as well. Interesting sound you're making. Like that spinning, like that spinning wheel on Price is Right. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. I used to watch that show when I was a little kid with one of my grandmothers who didn't even speak English, but she watched Bob Barker and The Price is Right. Kicking it like it's 1976, baby. Wow, I missing lots of spots on this thing. It's really easy to tell with black whether or not you missed a spot. All right. Now, we've got two check 38s. Let's do a couple of Crusaders. Because we need to get them in the primered color too. I mean, they're no good to me, you know, not primered. So we finished one Crusader this morning, so on sick days, yeah, stay home from work and you're watching, you know, Gatorade and watching The Price is Right with a grandmother. I'd live in grandmothers when I was growing up, and none of them could drive or speak English. Of course, my dad's mom was born century before last. But she wasn't a hillbilly. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You're not very hillbilly, man. You don't sound like one, so sorry, you got to try harder. Not enough banjo in your speech. Okay. We're going to prime this Crusader. And I'm kind of bummed that the Crusaders that I have to do, I got to make them all one color. Just because of the battle that we're trying to reproduce. What the heck? I think the issue might be with the needle I'm using. I may need to switch needles in the middle of it. Tell you what, we're out of this stuff, and now's the perfect time to do this. Let's take a little bit of paper towel. We'll scoop out as much as this we can. There's no point in pushing this in through the airbrush. You sprayed your hair. Nope. Guys don't care, man. Girls like gray hair. I had my first gray hair when I was 26. Let's see. Guys don't care about that. I mean, some do, but I don't. Let's see here. This is what we want to do. My setup looks better every time. Well, thank you. It's the lighting in here is great, but it could be greater. We have these illuminated lights that this guy did. I don't know what they are. I should order more of them. And they just plug it right into the roof and they're LEDs. And you could use some other ones. But what's really great about this is this isn't my painting area. It's not like I have to give up my inside area to do. I can't imagine airbrushing inside the house. Only because if something goes sideways, and it's happened, it doesn't happen very often, but it can happen. I don't have to worry about getting this all over the floor or something like that. So, your beard's all gray. If I grow my beard out, which, you know, I can't. I'm not allowed to do that, man. I got to look cute, man. I don't have a good personality to fall back on like you. It's too much trouble. I did it for about a couple of months, 5 or 6 years ago, whatever. And, you know, you got to shave your neck every day. You know, I mean, I have to. Otherwise, you look like a lumberjack. Or, you know, like the people around where Marcus is from. You know, it's just, I don't like shaving every day. I like shaving every other day, every third day. I like a 5 o'clock shadow, but if you want to, it looks really unkempt. I didn't think I was going to use that word today. If you're not shaving your beard, I mean, if you're not shaving your neck and stuff. So, and besides, I can grow a beard, so I don't have to. It's more trouble than it's worth. All right, let's see if this is the culprit. Let's see if this is the culprit. That I had the wrong needle in. And I really should mark the end of them, but I don't. Keeps me from being perfect. You're a part-time lumberjack, you could say. I'm on a full beard, no shave. Yeah, it's, you know, these guys that play professional sports, I don't follow any of them, but if I'm going to be sweaty and wearing a helmet all the time, I'm going to have a haircut that looks like Yuri Petrushkin, inmate third class from the Gulag. You know, I don't want any extra hair, man. It's just going to be like really hot. Don't mind me. I'm just here doing some coke. All right, let's see if we have a little bit better results with this now. Yoo-hoo! Justinian's here. I shouldn't call you that. Justinian was a dick. First thing I heard when I heard that was coke. That's right. Oh, this isn't working either. Well, suck Okay, I'll stop it right there. Yeah, Coke. It's my drug of choice. All right, let's spray these guys down. They get confused for a Scottish Yeti has been known. Oh, you don't wear a skirt too, do you? Uh-oh, what did I do? Dial this down too far? A Scottish Yeti. Does the Yeti also have that the fame for like nobody's seen it? You know, like Sasquatch. Which, by the way, I came across a Sasquatch video recently. I wasn't looking for it, and I'm like, that's the one I saw was definitely a dude in a suit because it walked just like a person. It walked better than a gamer. You know. You know, if there is such a thing as a Sasquatch, there's no way they should be walking better than a gamer. I'm your own felt birthday suit. You wear shorts year round. Yeah, I do too, but this is my work garb. I guess it's not that bad. I really wish I could wear short. I don't want to wear really good clothes because, you know, I could get like grease or something on at work. I mean, it could happen. Go and check out something and there's grease all over the load or something. I'm glad I don't work. I don't work somewhere where I have to wear a uniform. I'm not a fan of a uniform unless I get to design my own uniform. Although there is one thing I would like about living in Michigan. I wore snow boots. I could wear snow boots a lot more. I got a pair of snow boots that are freaking awesome. It's like the most comfortable shoes I have. You're the same. You work on something most days, so I don't really wear my good gear. Yeah. Yeah, clothes are, you know, you gotta take care. You gotta take care of things. You gotta take care of things. And even when you take care of things, things happen. And I'm not okay, I used to not be a klutzy person. Every time I have a klutzy moment, it's because I got my readers on or something and I end up doing something that involves me being, you know, mole man, not paying attention to my surroundings, but I'm not known for being a klutz. Or a parrot cage eater. You know, those people that they go out to eat and they get food everywhere. That doesn't happen. I have different drawbacks. Parrot cage eater. Yeah, I leave the area just like a parrot cage. You know. Yeah, I had to buy a pair of snow boots. I decided to buy a pair of snow boots when I went to Canada, and God bless, they're just so comfortable. I'd wear them every day for work, but like I said, I don't want to wear my good. I have a pair of shoes that'll last me 6 months at work. They just going in and out, up and down. Like I said, I'm in the office most days, but I do have to go outside. And just being out in the yard, you know, things just get worn out. We can't all just sit at home like Marcus. Lucky bastard. If I worked from home, it would be a problem because I would eat the house. You know, I have access to food all day long. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem for me. Okay, I think this that should be well enough. And then the turret. And then we'll do a couple of German half tracks, and then we'll go and do the base color on these items so that we can start working on the next couple days, including tomorrow morning. I never got around to do the TV time with the wife yesterday, so we're going to do TV time today. Like, man, you can't do it at 8, 9. She was already asleep. That's all right. I'll do some airbrushing and then come back in, shower, and although it's not particularly hot in the garage. Actually, it's not hot at all. I think we got most everything. Be right back. You're lucky I was applying a washer and I said that. Otherwise, well, I would just laugh. Well, as long as you realize how lucky you are. But you know, when that whole COVID thing happened, and people were like, I don't want to go back in the office. Dude, I'd like to work from home like one day ever in my entire life. Ever. It has not happened. So my sympathy for people complaining about wanting to go in the office is like, no, like, don't, talk to the hand. All right, so I'll forget the mini turret. Which, by the way, by the time Operation Crusader rolled around, they didn't use this thing. They gutted it and you put extra ammo in there. So when these guys first were used like Operation Battle Axe and stuff like that, they used this as a mini turret. And then a couple months later, they're like, this isn't working. This isn't working. And they just got rid of it. Well, eventually they got rid of it. But. All right, so how much of this stuff do we have in there? We still have some. All right, well, I don't want to waste it. So let's prime another Czech 38. Oh, I'm being stupid. Again. No, I'm being stupid again. Of course, we need to prime these things as well. All right, we're going to do the Stummel. Where is mein Stummel? It's right here, pal. SDKFZ 251/9 Aust D. go ahead. I'll take this opportunity to move it and get that little spot that didn't get painted there. Sure, we got a good purchase on this thing. Actually, using a paintbrush for stuff like this is actually easier. This stuff actually gets everywhere really well with a paintbrush. Yeah, sometimes you get days where the airbrush is just working really well, and you get other days where it just wants to be kind of like a little bitch. And this is one of them bitch days. So we got the Stubel 75mm howitzer in there. Get one of the standard ones. Seems to be pretty sturdy. So this is, I haven't looked at the production numbers, but these are definitely the most prolific of the German half-tracks. The Ds. I mean, it stands to reason that they would be, because they were produced when Germany was really cranking stuff out. It took their sweet enough time to do it, to get to that point, but probably a good thing. But that's when these all came out, when Germany was just really cranking stuff out. So they didn't make very many A's at all, not very many B's. C's, they made quite a few, but the D model is definitely the one that I don't think any Panzer Division ever had. The idea was that all of the armored infantry in the Panzer Division was supposed to be half-track, carried in half-tracks. And at best, I think that at best they would have had one battalion in half-tracks and one battalion in trucks, at best. Let's put some of this in here. Even if you had like an elite formation or a Grossdeutschland, any of the first line SS units, first, second, third, none of them had all their infantry in half tracks. And, you know, honestly, it'd probably be a waste of resources if they did. Was Grossdeutschland fully equipped? Grossdeutschland at Kursk had more stuff than anybody. Grossdeutschland at Kursk had more, and I think at that point it was still considered a Panzer Grenadier division, but it had the full complement of tanks and a whole Panzer regiment, plus it had a company of Tigers directly attached to it. Plus, it was in command of the Panther Brigade. So at Kursk, it was definitely the most well-equipped unit. But I mean, after that, I mean, it was getting thrown everywhere that there was a problem. Where did I put that? I just answered the question. Okay. Careful what you ask. I may answer it. And the only reason I know that is because, you know, when I was doing 135th scale stuff, that was the unit that I liked to do. It was simple. It had a little helmet. It was a cute little helmet symbol. You're not painting SS guys, you know. And although the SS camouflage is cool, but that's where it ends. I've actually never painted any SS guys before, but I'm sure that'll change at some point in the future. I really like the rank structure. Clean the toilet Führer and, you know, all the Führer ranking things. What's going on here? What's the meaning of this? We're just going to do one of these half tracks. Because I do need to paint the primer coat on. Alright, so we got two half tracks. One of them is the with the 75 millimeter gun. The one tick series I really liked was a Kurland. Grossdeutschland played a role. You're right about getting thrown around. Yes. You know, a lot of these units, like, they burn more fuel going laterally than they did actually fighting the enemy. Like, we need him over here to plug the line. I started listening to the Kurland one. I think that's his first one. His first Battlestorm series. I just couldn't get into it. Now, with that said, it's an area that I don't really know a whole lot about. I actually wasn't aware that they cut off a huge group of German forces over there. I mean, but that's just so damn late in the war that, you know, I just haven't really studied it much. And like I mentioned yesterday, I don't really know a whole lot about the Cherkasy pocket, Tarnopol bridgehead, all that kind of stuff. You know, what ended up happening is so many of the units after Kursk were concentrated in Army Group South that when the Russians pushed them back, they were pushing them back towards the southwest. So they basically got pushed out of the area where they could react to the stuff that was happening in Army Group Center. And Army Group Center was so damn weak. And then when it got crushed, they're like, oh shit, we gotta, you know. So Grossdeutschland was down there in the battle. I think most of the elite units were in the south. And the northern front really didn't move a whole lot until, I guess, late 43. But still, it was, you know, it's all swampy and terrain up there. All right, let's clean this thing out. We're going to try, let's see, we got 2 in Panzer Gray, 2 in Dunkelgelb, and 1 in... Oh, I don't think I've got whatchamacallit stone out here. I got Portland stone, but I don't think I've got light stone out here. Shame on me. Well, maybe I'll get it, maybe I'll run out of time. Yeah, I never watched the Courland one. I think that's his first one. And then Market Garden, I think, might be his second one. I haven't seen that one either. I'm not a Market Garden fan. There's too many paratroopers involved. I'm not a fan of paratroopers. How can you say that? I'm not. They're overdone. You know, they don't have any tanks unless somebody decides to send them some tanks. Okay. Now, I got to figure out which needle is which needle. So, in order to do that, I have one needle that I boogered up a long time ago. And I know for a fact that's the 0.35 needle. So, I'm going to find which other one of these two matches this boogered up needle, and I'll know that's the 0.35. Because that's the one I'm going to want in for this paint. So, this is this one. This is the 0.35 needle. Okay, that's why we kept the tip on it. It would work. It wouldn't work if I'm doing like precision stuff. It wouldn't work as well. So that's why I didn't get rid of it. All right, let's dial this down to about 20. Okay, put the needle in. Make sure we can see light through this with this one. It was good. I also like Ace Destroyer series on Narva and then Tannenberg line. I'm not familiar with Ace Destroyer. You sure that's what he goes by and it's not something that sounds like Ace that he also destroys? Oh no! Son of a dickweed. Well, I do all my own stunts. All right. We know you're here somewhere. Well, I might just cut this short. I just use the other needle. Now, I heard it hit this. There it is. One of you guys want to see me on my knees anyways. Careful when you get on your knees, that destroyer might be around. All right, I'm going to give this a squirt. And I want to make sure that all this stuff in here is out. They do a pretty good job of cleaning it, but there's always some that's wants to just be difficult. Put some hand sanitizer on a little scrubby. Run the scrubby in there. All right, now we should be good. Or now we've done everything that we can do. Ace Destroyer, also a really good series on Hurtgen. Hurtgen. I lose track of when that happened. That's like before Bulge, right? That's before Bulge and after the what's that boring scenario that was in Command Decision that came in with it? The Siegfried line. Yeah, the Siegfried line thing. There was like this mini campaign in Command Decision, the original Command Decision that came with it, like a little mini campaign. And I think the Germans and all the units they can have like 2 Stugs. That's it. They have no other vehicles other than that. I'm like, well, that's not very exciting for one side. You know, the Americans have like 2 combat commands, and the Germans have like a company of Stugs. Like, Boring. Yeah, because that game sucks as far as infantry goes. They're not very fun to use. So I don't play it anymore. One of the reasons I don't play it anymore. All right, let's see if we're getting a good seal on this. Yep. Come on. You know, it's basically clean. But this isn't where the problem arises. The problem arises in there. So, which one are we going to do first? Let's go ahead and do the Panzer Gray, because we got to do a different shade. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Panzer Gray. It doesn't really matter which one it is. And the Panzer Gray we're going to use from the 1939-43 German set. We're going to use the gray base. Oh, and these are just loose in there because the little container they came with went sideways. Gray shine, gray base. You might highlight it with gray shine. Correct. It was September through December 44. If you like action for 116th, they played a big role. You know what I hate? I really hate these units. I hate Panzer brigades. I hate them because they don't have symbols. You know, they get passed around like, you know, like a $2 horror. I'm not a fan of Panzer brigades at all. Not a fan. In other words, not a fan like I don't follow where their actions are, and as soon as that ends up being an issue, like I'm not interested. This is a gray base color, isn't it? All right, cool. So what I'm going to do with this is let's grab a Czech 38 and one of these that's not falling apart. One that's got a pretty good purchase on it. That's neither one of those two. Or that one. Okay. We don't want this thing to fall. And we're going to give this a dusting. We're okay. We don't want to get every single little place in there. We don't want to get in every nook and cranny. We just want to go. We want to go. And then it's really hard to tell. Just kind of get over the big areas. Some of the black stays in the creases. Perfect. That's what we want. Just like that. You can't even tell much until you put the black up next to it. And then you can kind of tell. All right, so we're going to plug this back there. All right, and let's do the other one as well. Should have another one of these that. Well, we can leave that one connected there. It dries in an instant. I'm not putting that much paint on there. The turret. One of the two turrets. And the other turret. And we're almost out. still somewhat in there. Well, normally I can just throw the other color on top of it. It won't make that much of a difference. But I do want some contrast. So let's not worry about rinsing this thing out. Let's just... Yeah, now I can get a really small line when I don't need one. Freaking hate that. Look at this. Just from the vestiges of the paint left over. All right. Let's go up one, which would be gray shine. Or is it light gray base? Which one is it? Don't drop that thing down. That's going to be ugly. Light gray base. Light gray base. I probably don't need to do this, but it came with this color. What else am I going to use this color for? All right, I'm going to dial this pressure down a little bit. And the reason I'm going to do what I'm doing, what I'm about to do, is for practice of trigger control. That's the only reason I'm doing this, is for make sure the correct color is coming out. See, I don't like this. I'm not even pulling it back, and it's coming out. I'm not really sure what the hell's causing that. So we're just going to kind of zenithal it a little bit. So that way you have an irregular appearance to the surface. That's why I do it. Okay. Nothing too crazy. So what we're going to do after this is we're going to give this a brown wash. And then when we're done, we're going to take the Panzer Gray, which isn't the exact Panzer Gray, and mix it in with Luftwaffe uniform, which is a little bit of blue. Start giving it a little bit of a blue tint to it. Nothing crazy, just a slight little atmospheric difference there. Okay, the Chuck 38's done now. All right, how are we doing on? This takes forever. Okay, I'm not going to do the Crusader then because I don't have that color out here. So let's do the two Hanamags. And these we're going to want to rinse this stuff out. And this is the little brush that came in, a water brush that came with it. It's very, very stiff. And it does a really good job of getting out anywhere that this paint may have. This paint's also really watery, so it really shouldn't be causing much of a problem. All right. We need 2 levels of Dunkelgelb. So let's put away this. and put away this. All right, and we're going to pull out the Dunkelgelb base color that comes with this set right here. And we're not thinning these at all. We're using them as is. They work pretty darn well the way they are. Okay, so here's the Dunkelgelb base. And we're also going to need the Dunkelgelb light on top of it. I don't know why I got some paint here. Let's take care of that before this ends up getting somewhere it's not supposed to. Ammo MIG. The AK is, you have to thin the AK. But the AK is as good as Vallejo painting wise. It's that same kind of consistency. All right. We're done with these little guys, so we can go ahead and pull them off these things. And here's the standard half track. And the Sturm one is here. Who made the set I bought for the British North Africa? I could see buying that one. So I use, when I went to Spray Gunner, they didn't have the MIG set for it. They were out of it. So I went online, found out what sets would go in there, and I bought the base Portland and the base light stone for this already. So the base set, that one is actually the counter scheme. So I've actually not used the Portland and the stone that comes with that set. I've just used the other colors. Because if I use the Portland stone and the light stone that comes in that set, I have to thin them. Whereas these, I don't have to thin them at all. So that's the reason why I did that. You know, I have both, so I might as well, you know, do the one that's not going to be a pain in the butt to do. So, all right, we're going to Dunkelgelb base. Let's make sure there's nothing else hiding in here. Yeah, it is. I'm tapping it. The paint's still coming out, even though we've run through it. Let's see what the meaning of this is. I mean, I'm really not worried about it coming out exactly the same because the methods that I use, it can't help but almost be the same. But yeah, see, we've got some residue here on the needle. I'm not sure why that's happening. But we're going to try to get by because if I go and try to do an intensive clean, I'm not going to make the cutoff. Let's go this. All ammo MIG. I've seen Vallejo offer those colors. Just thought of buying a set might be better in this case. Well, I've heard bad things about the Vallejo Air. And this paint is great, but it's useless to dry brush with. You got to like mix it with something else. I'm not a fan of dry brushing with it. And I went to this model show recently, and they had the counter set from Vallejo Air, and the colors were all wrong. So, you know, the slate gray needs to be, yeah, this thing's, the slate gray needs to have green in it. It needs to be a greenish color, not a blue one. Now you paint it blue, it looks fine, it's just wrong, you know. right, let's try this once again. This is the last color combination we're going to do. And I'm not going to switch the colors in between these two. And I would have bought the one from the set if they had the set there, but they didn't. And like, I want to do desert stuff. Like, I can't wait on them. You know, I don't have all day. They're out of it. I mean, they had all kinds of other stuff. So I went online, saw what colors came in the set, you know, so I paid a little bit more. But if you don't have an airbrush, don't buy these. Don't buy these. You're gonna hate it. And I've said before, you don't need an airbrush to do this. Okay. Make sure that's flowing okay. And the Dunkelgelb base does look greenish a little bit. So we're just going to give this kind of a quick dusting overall. And yes, I'm priming on black. So I'm going to have to lay it on a little bit thicker than normal. But I want the dark patches in other places, in the shadows. So we got something like this. Remember, it's going to get a brown wash in there. Get some of them brown colors in there. All right. And then we're going to switch and go to. Here it is. The Stummel. I don't have much of this left. Famous last words. Thank you. Sorry for the slow response. I was applying more wash. Yeah, if you don't have an airbrush, don't buy this stuff. Oh, it's for brush painting, and you do not want to brush paint this. You're going to hate life. It's way too watery. And the only thing you can do to thicken it, well, the easiest thing you can do to thicken it is mix it with another color. Well, if you're going to mix it with another color, why even bother worry about getting the accurate, correct color, you know? Okay, we got both of these in the overall Dunkelgelb color. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some pre-shading. I don't know that this makes that much of a difference, but I have the colors for it. Now that I think about it, hold that thought. Here we go. Let's just drop 2 drops. Let's drop the pressure on this. Let's sit down. Look up Frankenmuth. It's a German Christmas town. Is it active right now? Is it always Christmas there? You got that one town in North Georgia called Helen. That's pretty cheesy. Okay, that's a little bit more full body. Okay, full body color. So let me go over this one as well. Now, any of this left? Not anymore. All right. We're going to take the next color up, which is called, what do we call it here? Dunkel Gelb Light. Yeah, everybody likes these German half tracks. They look pretty cool, but got to be on the lookout for yabos, man. And here's where we're going to add some pre-shades. That's what I call it. Pre-shades. And it's significantly lighter. You know, just kind of giving a little bit of variation. This is Ammo Mig acrylic color for airbrush. It says it's for airbrush and painting. No, it's not. You don't want to brush. You only tell somebody to brush paint this if you hate them. If you hate them and you want them to hate themselves on the hobby, yeah, you can brush paint that stuff. Oh yeah, it's great. Oh yeah, it's wonderful. It's watery as shit. It's like trying to paint it with Kool-Aid. Just something like this. Just a little bit of some different highlighting. And the only reason I do this is because I have this paint. Otherwise, the first couple German things, you don't need this step. But I'm like, okay, well, if I don't use this paint for this, then these sets that I bought are useless. Just a little bit of highlighting on there. Yeah? And I know it doesn't look great. You just have to trust me. I didn't trust me. I thought like, man, I'm going down the wrong street on this. Until I've like been able to replicate it so many times. I'm like, yeah, trust the process. I trust the process now. I'm a believer. I mainly use this to make sure that all the panels look a little bit different from each other. And a lot of people that are a lot better at this than I am. I'm still a noob because the control on this pullback is not great. You know, you go like, hey, no paint's coming out, no paint. You move it a tiny fraction. It's like, whoa, too much. So it almost looks like it has a little bit of snow camouflage on it, but it's no such thing. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. We've got these two primed. We've got the two Czech 38s primed. This one's only primered, but you know, we can, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for these things to dry out tonight, and then in the morning we'll give them a brown wash and go from there. Okay, folks, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.